for grabs in Game 2 when the Huskers take on the 4th-seeded Michigan State Spartans. The Big Ten basketball tournament is presented by TIAA. Game 2 of the quarterfinals about to tip right here. The winner will face that hot Maryland team tomorrow for a shot at the championship game. Then later on today, Iowa and Indiana will make their tournament debuts. Welcome inside Target Center. Sloan Barton, Christy Winters-Scott along with you. Still feel like I'm recovering from just the third 8-over-1 upsets in Big Ten tournament history.
Oh, it was an amazing atmosphere. Maryland did not stop on the glass. 52-31 advantage there, and that was the difference in the ball game. But how exciting is that for Maryland with only 7 players in their rotation to advance?
Well, we turn our attention to this matchup, 4 versus 5. They only met one time this season, Christy. That was way back in December, and both these teams much different.
Well, they're exponentially better, right? When you're looking at what they were in December and what they are now, and that's what you want. You want to see your skill sets refined, and that's what both of these teams have done. And with Michigan State, Robin Freilich, in her first season with the Spartans, she has done amazingly well to earn a 4 seed. They've been able to play staunch defense, but they get up and down the floor offensively now. They can score the ball from 5 different spots on the court, but when you're looking at this Nebraska team, they are so dynamic in terms of the 1-2 punch, Jazz Shelley and Alexis Markowski.
When we talk about Michigan State, they are transformed this year. Not their roster, just the production.
Oh my goodness, the production. Just look at this trifecta of players. They have been able to get the job done. Look at the numbers this season to last season. That's what you want to see. You want to see the evolution of your players. You want to see that confidence rising, and you want to see execution.
Let's meet the starting line.
Julia Arold is at the top of the list for a reason. She had injuries, she's been battle tested, and she's played the guard position this year. She's been asked to play a different role for her team, and she has been outstanding in terms of the way she's able to produce on the offensive end. And let's not forget about her defensive prowess. 15 points per game this year on the offensive end, just 3 points last year. And Jazz Shelley, oh my goodness, she is a whirling dervish when it comes to setting the table for success and connecting the dots for her team. Robin Freilich, the head coach at Michigan State, told us this morning, she said, Jazz Shelley is probably a better pass maker and initiator of offense than a scorer. And then on the interior, this is my girl now, the double-double machine, Alexis Markowski. Her first 5 kickouts out of being in a double-team situation were from made triples yesterday for Nebraska. She has great body control. She understands when to kick it out and when to initiate her own scoring ability.
Look at our starting lineups featuring 2 first-team All-Big Ten posts. 2 players we talked about, Markowski and Arold, but the Spartans giving teams fits with mismatches with that undersized group. Let's check in with Autumn Johnson with more on the Spartans.
Well, these 5th-year seniors for Michigan State has meant everything to this team. And when you think about it, the day of NIL in the portal, Robin Freilich said it makes her emotional to think how much pride that Tori Osmond and Maury Joyner takes in being a Spartan, especially with these 2 teams facing off each other, looking to advance forward. They've expressed that they want to make an NCAA tournament appearance, and it's another thing to do it while putting in the work, elevating yourself and your teammates. They have walked the walk, they've talked the talk, they are rare, and they are Spartans through and through.
Thanks, Autumn. The head coach, Robin Freilich, the most league wins under a first-year head coach in program history. You see the comparison with a great in this conference, Susie Merchant, and the first-year head coach who has transformed this program with pretty much the exact same roster. And they are looking to extend their time here in Minneapolis, earning a double bye. They enter the tournament winning their last 5 games, 9 of their last 11 overall. They've been consistently great throughout the year.
Absolutely. They have found the chemistry and the cadence that's necessary. They are locked in to the game plan, and they have been executing to perfection.
I mentioned their 5-game win streak, outscoring opponents by over 18 points per game. Christy also shooting 50% as a team, 40% from 3. Got a lot of hot teams in this conference coming into the tournament. They might be top of the list.
Well, this is when you want to be playing your best basketball, okay? This is when you want to be in a groove and have that traction headed into postseason play here at the Big Ten tournament and also in the NCAA tournament that's right around the corner.
Judy Hageman loves to get downhill. Good stop by Kendall Moriarty.
We saw man-to-man defense presented by Nebraska to start this one out, and I think it's a fairly matched game in terms of personnel. I'm going to see how that unfolds and where each team's point of contact will be when you're talking about weak spots. Who are they trying to get into pick-and-roll actions and how they're trying to exploit their strengths.
Nisley, the freshman, leaves it short. That's going to ignite the Spartans joiner. Lethal from three. Good recovery by Moriarty. A-Rolls, couple dribble, pull up, and it just falls through.
Driving the lane is going to be important for Nebraska, whether they shoot the ball when they get in there or spray it out for three-point opportunities. That is their MO. They want to get a piece of the paint on every possession.
They're such an efficient team, Christy. They make shots, and then they're able to put in their full-court pressure, too. Here's Shelley, her first look at a three, and A-Rolls battling for that board.
Nebraska about a 32% shooting team from range. So when they are clicking, that is a big point of emphasis for them to get high volume attempts from there as well.
Exquisite ball movement. The three doesn't fall for Jocelyn Tate. This team shoots a lot of threes, shoots them well.
Let's see, they're looking for that high ball screen. Potts right there, the freshman.
Instead, it's Nisley launching from long range. There's Moriarty for the second chance. How about Markowski off 1 foot?
That should look like Elena Deladon on that one with the leg out and the fader on the baseline. Catch that one out with the feathery touch.
Christy, I'm racking my brain. I don't know if I've seen her do that before.
I have not seen it.
The reverse. Tate's on the attack.
And now you see Michigan State in their 1-2-2 press. And their defense, as we just showed you graphically, just under 61 points allowed in their last 5 games. That press has a lot to do with it as well.
Jazz Shelley back-to-back incredibly difficult shots by the Huskers go in.
Well, they haven't gotten all the way into the paint, and they've taken these mid-range shots. So Michigan State clogging the painted area, but it doesn't matter right now for Nebraska, who's knocked in some nice mid-range looks.
Kimball threading it inside, one-on-one, A-Rolls and Markowski, and there's a whistle.
Well, the 1-2 punch, we were talking about the inside-outside balance, but this time it's mid-range. And Alexis Markowski with the leaner, and then Jazz Shelley gets the lane cleared there by Alexis Markowski with a little bump screen, and she was able to smooch that one off the window. And then there's Tate getting the reversal to go. Came from Bowling Green University, where Robin Freilich was a head coach last year, and transferred here with her.
Making her elevation from the Mid-American Conference to the Big Ten, now showing up in the postseason. More full-court pressure from the Spartans, just like Ohio State, who we just saw relentless in this part of the game. Dangerous there by Nebraska.
Well, that's why you come to meet the passes. Can't wait for the ball to come to you. You got to go get it and run through the ball.
That's what Coach Williams talked about at shoot-around. She said we need all 5 players who want to get the ball and do something with it. Jazz Shelley knocks down the three, a hot start. She's got 5.
Well, she shot that one from the Prince Museum. She was about 5 feet behind the line. What do we let that thing go?
Tate, the up and under, unstoppable in the paint.
And here's that press again. And these teams are going back and forth. Like I said, I think very evenly matched in terms of player personnel, what each player at each position can do.
Yeah, Shelley. And then Markowski fouled. She falls to the floor. Her and A-Rolls battling for that board.
Well, Jazz Shelley right here, she's just going to catch it and give her all that space. She's going to yank it. Bop. This pull from 3. Look how far feet are away from the line. At least 2 feet. No dribble needed. She just dropped down and shot it. And then nice footwork. The up and under by Tate for the Spartans, getting that one to go.
Another whistle away from the ball. It's an offensive foul on the Huskers.
There was a screen off the ball there, and you've got to stay in your cylinder if you're a screener. Back-to-back calls like that.
That's on Nisley. Starting her 6th straight game, coming on strong to end the season for the Huskers as Hageman almost loses her footing. Aaron Halleck, the 6th player of the year, already in, finds another great player off the bench in Osmond, but no good from 3.
Osmond just didn't have the lift on that, but I like the choice and the shot selection for Michigan State there as they get a steal.
Halleck is a pest. Has that pick 6 ability, slows it up here. Ayrault strong on the drive, and she'll be shooting 2. Big Ten Plus delivers thousands of non-televised live events, access to next-day on-demand replays, multi-view to watch up to 4 games at once, and a 24/7 channel for your favorite school. There's no plus like home. Subscribe and stream for as low as $9.95 a month at BigTenPlus.com. Ayrault, you talked about it in the Open, Christy, last year, 3 points per game. This year, 11th in the Big Ten in scoring. First team all Big Ten, a different kind of confidence.
Well, she's been magnificent, right? She's also a great shot blocker down inside and a threat that way, protecting the rim, but right there reached in from behind and tagged the shooter on the way up. Coley will head to the line. And just take a look right there, just a hand in the cookie jar, can't do that. I think that's 2 fouls now on Julia Ayrault.
It is indeed 2 fouls on Ayrault in the first 4 minutes. Jessica Petrie checking in for Alexis Markowski. And Ayrault going to the bench.
Well, that automatically changes what I just said about the rim being protected inside, with Julia Ayrault now having to take a seat with those 2 fouls.
This is going to be a lineup with Tori Osmond at the 5.
Well, if you're a hooper, you're a ball player, right? You do what the team needs for you to do. And, you know, if that's a hole in the boat, then you fill it. You're going to have a problem. So for Michigan State, we'll see what that looks like on the offensive end. Kind of feel what it may look like on the defensive end. But
no Markowski in the game.
There we go. Great minds, Sloan. Think alike.
This team far accustomed to playing undersized. Hageman launches the 3 and puts it through.
Didi Hageman has been a threat all season from 3. And at one point this year, she was shooting 63% from 3 over a stretch of games. So she is a floor stretcher for the Spartans as a travel call on Coley.
Didi had her first 2 seasons under 31% from 3. This year, over 40.
Look at her face right there. She was hungry for a touch. Give the ball up, and they did. And she paid it off with a triple. But I had a chance to ask her, you know, what has gone into her ability to score as Michigan State has a miscue there. And I'll let you know on the other side.
12-7 is the Michigan State lead early at Target Center. The Big Ten basketball tournament on Big Ten Network is brought to you by Ram Trucks, built to serve, and by Old National Bank, the official bank of the Big Ten Conference. Look at today's scorecard brought to you by Intuit QuickBooks. And it's about the Huskers and how they have dominated the glass this season. 12th in the entire nation, first in the Big Ten in rebound margin, something where Michigan State struggles.
Absolutely, but that's why. I mean, they've been able to get what they've wanted, especially on the second chance points, and what their guards do in terms of rebounding the basketball. It's not just Alexis Markowski with 11 boards per game.
Jazz Shelley netting another 3, her second.
And that's what they need from her, because the more threes that fall for Nebraska, the easier the interior will be to navigate for Alexis Markowski in the paint.
First in the Big Ten in 3-point rates. Not afraid to put them up. Osment. But the box out from Tate, she is fouled.
Now Jazz Shelley held her from behind.
The Ultra replay brought to you by Samsung Galaxy S24. A fantastic look at this shot from Shelley.
Yeah, Aussie, Aussie, Aussie. Right there, Jazz Shelley getting the 3 to go. 3 times for the Aussie there. And she's just so much fun to watch play, right? She plays with the joy, but she sets up her teammates. Great passes as well.
Tate, the D position, scores over Darian White.
Tough to guard that when they're that deep into the paint, can't bring help.
And when you're 5'6" like White,
Hey,
what do you say, Chrissy? You pray?
You pray. Prayer works.
Shelley into Markowski, going to work one-on-one against Osment, and Osment pushes her away and snags the loose ball.
Yeah, got Markowski off that lane line.
Callan Hake stepping in for the charge. Osment out of control on the push.
Just gave it right back. You see, Tori Osment ran out of space, and then the collision happens, and she was fouled with the charge.
Nebraska dealing with the full court pressure of Michigan State. And then Shelley going to work at the point.
Just trying to empty out a side, trying to set up Markowski for a slip, and there she is.
But the block, the finish not there. Markowski one more time.
How many rebounds? She going.
And a foul is called. You do not see that many missed opportunities by this team, let alone Alexis Markowski at the rim.
Well, Markowski just probably got double figures in rebounding on that one possession because, listen, she was right there on the slip. And you see that positioning that she's getting. She knows where that basketball is coming off. She got 4 rebounds right in a row. Didi Hageman disrupted the first shot, but the other ones, I just think it was a body balance issue and just didn't go straight up with the ball. 5 rebounds, but 4 of them right there.
Yeah, 3 offensive right there for Markowski. And that's something you hear from all these opponents. Let's check in with Autumn Johnson standing by sideline.
Well, Nebraska's head coach, Amy Williams, was urging to her team, hey, Michigan State's small right now, and they're undersized, so keep going into Alexis Markowski. We just all need to take a deep breath right now and chill. Going into this matchup, she said Alexis Markowski has to stay disciplined, and boys, we got to trust her on the defensive end to stay disciplined on that end. And she knew that Michigan State was going to try to ISO her and try to get her in foul trouble.
Yeah, that's the game plan, right? Go right at her and try to make her make decisions and see if she can stay poised and disciplined.
A whistle. And you see how suffocating Michigan State is hustling at all times.
Well, both teams are so scrappy, especially on the perimeter, and that's why I said these two teams mirror one another in that regard, because their guards are feisty, two-way players. And I hate saying two-way players because if you're on the court, you better be playing defense too. But both teams possess that.
Joyner picks up her first, heads to the bench. Michigan State also limited Julia Ayrolt on the bench with 2 early personal fouls. Inside to Markowski through the double team, and Osment again stands her ground.
Yeah, I think Markowski's standing up straight. And when you're locked leg inside, it makes it tough to get shots to fall. You've got to explode from somewhere, and that's why you have to sit low on the catch in the paint, because you know you're going to get touched up. So you got to have some power. If you get bumped and you're standing straight up, you're going to get knocked off balance and miss your shots.
Markowski 1 of 7, but Hake landing that 3.
Michigan State needs to free themselves. A little stagnant here with their off-ball movement. Look at everyone else. See Didi Hageman with the ball. Everyone else is standing and watching her. Somebody needs to make a move.
5 to shoot for Hageman. Glances up at the clock. Finds Osment.
There's the move. Right there. Take a slip. If you're standing, I mean, ball watching isn't just for defense. Ball watching is on offense too. When you feel yourself having that happen, make a play.
Play with the plan, brought to you by TIAA.
What a great read here by Tori Osmond. Nice slip. Ghost action there on that screen up top. Dee Hageman, pinpoint pass. Down inside the painted area. Smooch off the window for good measure. Just nicely executed offense by the Spartans.
And a great look at Osmond's green nails.
Oh, you gotta love a good nail.
Darian White at the free throw line. The last foul called on Tate. She nets the second. Theron Halleck, a complete open lane to 2.
If you don't have an in and out move in your repertoire, you need to get one, because that one was executed perfectly, and that's how you can learn to be better.
Natalie Potts, so strong, follows it up.
Natalie Potts, only a freshman. She's so long and lanky, but she has some power and competitiveness to her.
If you blinked, you missed Theron Halleck's score right there on the other side.
Yet again, she has been intentional with her attack to the cup.
Incredibly confident this season, the Michigan native, the Big Ten Sixth Player of the Year. Potts, another opportunity, then she puts it through.
No resistance because 2 defenders were on the ground right there, and Potts took full advantage of that advantage.
Rebounds 13-7 of favor of Nebraska, but they're also missing a whole lot more shots than Michigan State. 62-35% shooting.
Potts, one of the best freshmen in the conference. His name is Freshman of the Year.
Stolen away by Hake. She's going to slow down for her teammates.
See if they can get a touchdown inside to Markowski. It's 10 seconds here. See if she's going to get a high ball screen. Or just slide down the lane line.
Or White will try to take it herself. Markowski unboxed out. A wild first quarter comes to a close. It is the Spartans with the 1-possession lead.
Listen, just get your own touch. Don't worry about entry passes whatsoever. Just take yourself downhill and get to the offensive glass and stick it. And then Halleck on the other end, changing gears with the in and out, opening up the lane to attack and finish with a determined mindset. You'd love to see it. Strong to the cup once again. Michigan State up 1.
A 1-point difference between the 4 and 5 seed. Second quarterfinal of the day here at Target Center. As we look at today's State Farm State of Success, it is Theron Halleck, the second Spartan to win the 6th Player of the Year award. And what a gift to have her come off your bench.
Well, when you are a player who's coming off the bench, sometimes it's because of the energy you possess. And I'm going to say that's what Halleck brings to the table. You can change the dynamic. Sometimes you hear coaches say, well, we have 6 starters, right? Because it doesn't matter really who starts the game, it's who finishes. And Halleck a lot of times is in at the end of games, but it's her impact off the bench to change something defensively for Michigan State to bring energy to the court.
Autumn Johnson has more on Theron Halleck.
And Coach Freilich said Theron comes into this game and she changes it. Her ability to score and attack the rim is unmatched. Our team has been disruptive, but she's one of our few kids that can get a pick 6. And we lead the league in bench scoring, and she's the reason why. We rely on Theron heavily.
Yeah, you love to see that. Be an impact and accept your role and excel in it.
Markowski in the post, one-on-one against Arald, back in the game with 2 personals, and she's able to get a point.
Yeah, that's a barbecue chicken alert for sure. Just have that siren running, especially with Arald with 2 fouls, so she can't really contest those shots. So that was smart for Nebraska as a unit to attack that spot. That's why I said it's going to be interesting to see where the point of contact is for attacking.
Nebraska opponents will always say it's so difficult to double Markowski because first she makes her move quickly. Second of all, the shooters on this team.
Yeah. But that's what makes life easy for her. Surround her with shooters. Like I said, in the open, she had her first 5 sprayouts were for made triples in yesterday's game for Nebraska. So she has great vision and wisdom, a nice reverse pivot, strong arms with the baseball pass over the head into the shot pocket of three-point strikers from the outside.
Hageman walking it out. Michigan State still shooting over 60% as Osmond puts it on the board, turns on the Jets.
And that's what she can do. She's so long and lanky, right? That first step, if you're not in position to get to where she's going with the ball, you're in trouble. And there was no rotational defense there to contest her either.
It is not just Halleck, it is also Osmond. Coach Fraley calls them TNT Dynamite when they come into the game for the impact they have. Potts leaving it short, one more try. And she will shoot too. Nebraska relentless with 10 offensive rebounds now to 1.
Oh, that's work. This is also work. A little up fake, attack the hip, and get downhill to the rim. And just look at the determined face on Tori Osmond there. She makes her way to the rack to complete the play. And you love to see the aggression. I mean, 52% from the floor this season for Tori Osmond. And we showed you the 3 players who have improved exponentially so statistically for Michigan State.
Osmond has been a Spartan since 2018. She's gone through injuries, she's stuck through it. Now you're right, career high scoring, rebounding, field goal percentage, coming back with a purpose and making it happen for this top 25 net team.
And that COVID year has a lot of student athletes being a little bit older, a little bit more wise and experienced.
Maddie Kroll taking the charge there. But that was what Coach Fralick was saying to us. It's not just wanting to come back, get that extra year, but doing something with it.
Yeah, no question. I mean, she was talking about the pride being palpable. You heard our Autumn Johnson speaking about that in the open, and just the pride that the 5th and 6th year players have taken in being a Spartan and what it means to them.
Kowski keeps the ball up, puts it through.
Nicely executed action there by Nebraska, and they need more of that, right? Not just back to the basket and feed the post, but get her on the move. Tough to guard that action as well. 7 boards also for Markowski to go along with 8 points.
Ball's misfiring. She can put the ball on the deck at any time.
Good job here, resetting the offense. Jazz Shelley settling the pot.
Markowski gathers and finishes.
I mean, that's the 1-2 punch that we're talking about.
Time out called. You hear the Husker fans getting loud here at Target Center. Nebraska leading by 4.
Nebraska getting things cooking here in Minneapolis. The 2-player game right there. Jazz Shelley with a nice dive to Alexis Markowski. And once again, for good measure, on the opposite side of the bucket.
In the huddle moments ago, Robin Fralick with her team.
The other thing is, they're scoring because we're fouling or they're rebounding. Okay, so I need you all to get invested in rebounding. Okay, keep them off the line. We're fine. Okay, thumbs up with the 5. On makes. I want us back in 12.
And she's right. I mean, it's a 16-9 advantage on the glass for Nebraska, and those offensive board numbers 10-1 on the second chance opportunities. 9-2 advantage there.
Autumn Johnson has an update on Nebraska.
Well, Coach Williams really stressed transition defense and rebounds. We got to stick to that, keep flying around. And on man-to-man, they're getting downhill. She said we're too far off them, and they're just cutting on the Jets and going full speed. But paint touches is going to be key for the team moving forward. She said paint touches equals good things for the Huskers.
Absolutely. Get 10 toes down in there. There's a paint touch right there. Markowski freeing herself up for a bucket.
She's got 12 and 7 rebounds already, recovering from a slow start. She was 1 of 7, now shooting 50%.
Well, Nebraska 8 assists on 12 made shots.
She's firing from 3.
So they are playing well together and reading and reacting nicely in the quarter court. Look at Alexis Markowski right here on the right side of the floor. She sees an opportunity to get wedged up underneath of Osment there, who was late recovering, and that's going to do you in. You can't be late with Alexis Markowski. She's going to make you pay time and time again.
5 of 5. I had the math going in my head. I knew it was going that direction after starting 1 of 7, but scoring 10 of her team's last 11 points.
They know where to put the basketball, right? They know that she is a huge threat, and they have an advantage in there, especially with A-Roll with those 2 fouls. Oh, Jess Shelley tried to get it. Found herself on her back with the momentum carrying her right out of bounds. She tried to get there, Jess Shelley trying to get the jump ball, but then it ended up right in her hands, and she's like, oh, well, I guess this isn't where I wanted to end up, but at least they didn't score right here.
A-Roll forces it up, and Markowski ripping it down. Up for grabs, Tate to A-Roll.
Getting that one out of the mud, in the trenches right there underneath the rim. Tate staying with the play. Staying persistent with it, getting it to her teammate A-Roll for the deuce.
And sprinting to the rim, and now Halleck will do the same. Out to Hageman, the trailer. Out there for A-Roll.
But that was the right play. Even though that shot didn't fall, that's exactly the right play. Make that pass. I hate when you see that pass open and it's not made. It's like, oh, the possibility is gone. And if you wait a beat, the opportunity is gone. Make the play, even if it's a missed shot.
Markowski, the drop stab, takes her time off glass.
It looked like Robin Freilich wanted a double team to come that way. She was jumping over there on the sidelines as soon as you saw Alexis Markowski with the catch on the block.
She has 6 for her last 6. 14 points already.
She has just gone to work. She's been very determined with her play down inside. See Julie A-Roll, she's trying to keep a hand in her face, but nothing deters her on that play. See right here, she dribbles it in and then comes back baseline. You see players on the Michigan State bench trying to call for a travel on that one.
There are some teams, Christy, that have trouble keeping their true post. They're back to the basket big on the floor. Against this Michigan State team, they are small, they are fast, but Markowski, a huge difference maker.
Oh, no doubt. She just has a strong presence inside and continues to work. She does her work early, but then she catches you on her hip, and it's lights out.
She has not been a liability on defense either. Maybe something taking those posts out of the game against Michigan State. Roll up and under, an awkward shot, and Tate has got it up ahead to Hageman. Hageman finds Tate. They never stop moving, and a foul is called. Kroll getting there late.
Physical hoops. You love to see it. March Madness in full effect. Tate trying to get the roll action there with Dee Dee Hageman trying to fill it. But then Nebraska did a good job of gapping up the rim line, and no way. You're not happy about that particular call, but then the wry smile saying, I'm going to get it next time.
First foul on Kroll. Deep post up for Osment.
Oh,
she hits the floor hard. Big stop by the Huskers. Up ahead, and it's Potts for 2.
Nimble footwork inside by the freshman. Potts with the ability with those long arms to make a play even when she was kind of stuck under the rim. Just brought those long arms right out of there.
It is 13-4 Nebraska in this second quarter as Potts holds on.
Physical hoops. Here's the push up the floor. Potts with great hands. We used to call those great mitts back in the day. And just throw it in her direction and she's going to bring it home for you. Didn't bobble it or anything. Just nicely executed. And then on the other side, oh, Collision City. 2 players hitting the deck. And I don't know if it's just me, but this floor, it just sounds really loud when the players fall to it.
It sounds like pads, like football pads,
really does.
coming together, colliding.
Really tough.
think that says something about the hits as well. Alec right into Potts, can't connect. And going back to the big rep.
Nebraska, they have been trying to get the ball back down into the painted area. You heard Autumn Johnson talking about that, and Amy Williams saying we need to get into the paint. Whether we are shooting that or spraying it out, we've got to get a touch down in there. And that was kind of a quick shot for Jazz Shelley, and she can make those. But I like to see them massage the defense down a little bit, make them work, and then attack on the weak side. Get a couple ball reversals, get to the second and third sides.
Joyner takes a bump. She's also off target. White, full head of steam, and A-Roll brings it in. Michigan State approaching 3 minutes in their scoring drought. One of their last 9.
We saw that happen in the previous game with Ohio State, coming up anemic. A lot of offensive situations against Maryland.
Almost a finish there, a wild one by Halleck, really touching the top of the backboard. Potts, offensive foul. It is Halleck. No surprise, she's stepping in.
Well, Halleck right there, and she takes a nice deep breath to recollect her bearings. Right here, you see Halleck is doing a good job of establishing herself right there on Potts, who was trying to turn the corner on her. She hits the floor like, I got it. That's hard work. I like to see players giving up their body for the team in that way, because that's selfish to me too. If you can stop them and you don't, that's selfish defense. It's not just selfish on the offensive end when you're gunning shots.
Strong take by Tate. Kroll flying to gather that ball and then swarmed. She thought about it.
She was thinking strong about pulling. She made one from there a minute ago. Oh, body's down.
And another offensive foul. A little bit of a late whistle, but it is Tate reading and frustrating Shelley. That is 2 on Jazz Shelley.
Oh, yeah, the frustration showing her teammates on the bench too. Right there, you see Tate taking a second bump. And Jazz Shelley being whistled. She said, what was that? That's what she said. Not really what she said.
3 starters with 2 personals.
I don't know what she said.
Shelley, Nisley, and Potts. You're a pretty good lip reader, though.
I know, but I wish I weren't a great lip reader at times, because I was like, oh, okay.
Kimball. Another offensive foul. It is Hake. That's her second.
I mean, how many times have these players hit the deck? Both teams giving up their bodies for the team. Redemption for the Huskers. And then Jazz Shelley was like, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. See, that's what happened to me on the other side. It's happened to me on the other side of the floor. That payback.
4 Spartans now with 2 personals, so something to watch. The final couple minutes of this second half. Right back to Markowski, backing down, and 2.
That's big time tough for Alexis Markowski. First team all Big Ten this season, and just a solid threat on the interior.
A-Roll wants to take her off the dribble, gets the step, and she is fouled. Markowski, that is her second, the 4th Husker with 2.
Yeah, that left shoulder just needed to square up with A-Roll a little more. But look at the offense, though. Sometimes she dribbles inward and goes to the baseline. We saw that earlier, but this time she kept going to her left. Oh, backboard there. And then on the other side, see that left leg opened up that little crevice of space at the end of the play. And Alexis Markowski caught a piece of the hip on that one. And yes, she's vertical, but it wasn't about that. It was about her foot beating A-Roll to the spot. Get that left foot over and square up the ball handler, and that will not be whistled or called.
Autumn talked about it. They want A-Roll to face up, take Markowski, get her in foul trouble as Markowski goes to the bench with 1:27 on the clock.
That's Markowski just staying with it.
Ayrold good on the second. White and Coley trying to work their way through this press.
Coley reminded me of myself when I got a back pass and everybody cleared out and I had to dribble that thing. That was not cute, but I felt her. I felt all of that in that moment.
An offensive foul called, at least, what, 4?
Yeah.
The last couple of minutes here of the second quarter.
Back and forth with it.
He's just going to rack up the turnovers, the fouls as well. 1 minute to play for Hageman and the Spartans.
We're going to set up something for Tate, trying to probably isolate Ayrold down inside or outside.
Long three for Ayrold, too strong. Stick around for the State Farm halftime report. Justine Fernandez, Shimmy Gray Miller, Autumn Johnson. The first half highlights, analysis. Still 2 more games to come, including Iowa and Indiana making their debuts, and an upset to revisit with Maryland over Ohio State.
How about that game? Ohio State, the regular season champion in the Big Ten, being bumped out by Maryland.
About 5 seconds separating shot and game clock. Joyner leaves that short. 4 seconds. White now hurrying. She gets all the way, launches, and it is shorts at the half. It is Nebraska leading 36-29. Frenetic first half between number 4 and number 5.
Well, Michigan State, they've been able to force 9 turnovers off of Nebraska. But Nebraska, they have been able to score 11 points off of turnovers. So I think it's going to be who takes best care of the basketball in the second half.
Coach Williams is with Autumn Johnson.
Paint touches equals good things for the Huskers. How have you guys been able to impose your will inside?
Well, I thought when we were able to get a little bit of a stretch right there is when we were going inside, getting good inside-outside looks and inside-outside contacts. It's been frantic pace out here and just a little chaotic. We'd like to be able to calm down and continue to work that towards the paint.
Michigan State in some foul trouble, and you also held them to only 7 points in that quarter. How do you keep them out of rhythm in the next half?
Well, they're in foul trouble, but so are we. With Jazz Shelley, Alexis Markowski, Logan Nisley, all sitting over on the bench to finish that quarter with 2 fouls. So both teams having to manage and deal with a little bit of foul trouble right there. But I think for us, we need contributions from our bench. And so whether that's because we're in foul trouble or not, we've got to continue to have people coming in and ready to make plays for our team.
Thank you, Coach.
Thanks, Autumn. The State Farm halftime report coming your way from Target Center. Halftime of quarterfinal number 2. An exciting one here in Minneapolis. Plenty more to come your way. And is a 7-point lead for number 5 Nebraska over number 4 Michigan State. Great representation from Huskers fans and liking what they're seeing from that first half. Nebraska, you look at their stars, Markowski, Shelley on pace offensively. Not the same story for Ayrold and Joyner, all Big Ten honorees falling behind offensively. Sloan Martin, Christy Winter, Scott with you here at the half at Target Center in Nebraska. Was able to dictate, I think, set the tone in that first half.
They did, and you see that both teams scored 20 points apiece in the paint. It felt like Nebraska really had an advantage there, but that was not so. But where they did have an advantage was on the glass. Nebraska was able to do what they wanted to do on the boards, a 25-16 advantage there, and those second chance points because of the 11-3 advantage on offensive boards was a 9-4 advantage there. So I like to see Joyner get going offensively for Michigan State. I think she is going to be the impactful player that they need on the offensive end. And they put the ball right in her hands on the first possession.
She'll pull up the J, misses everything. She is 0 for 3. but lethal from long range. And Christy, that is what Michigan State is missing right now. Just one in this contest. They normally hit 9 per game.
Yeah, I'm surprised that Joyner missed that shot, and not that she missed it, but she missed it in that manner. I have not seen her do that, so hopefully she can lock in and get recalibrated, because they're going to need her input and production on the offensive side.
You saw on the graphic, normally 15 points per game. Potts is going to give it up to Shelley midway through the shot clock.
Good job by Michigan State to wall up that lane line.
Opens up the 3 for Markowski. Hageman will now push up the floor. Into A-roll, missed some time in the first half with foul trouble. He goes right at the wall of Markowski.
Oh man, that was just a persistent bucket by A-roll, who just challenged Alexis Markowski right at the rim.
Autumn Johnson was able to talk to Coach Freilich before coming in.
Out of the locker room, Coach Freilich told her team to take a collective deep breath. We're playing at 100 miles per hour. We have to do a better job at sharing the ball and rebounding. I asked, how do you neutralize Markowski? And she said, we're still trying to figure that out. She's catching it too deep, and that's beating us too often.
Interesting take there, but I love the deep breath, right? Drop your shoulders out of your ears. We're in postseason play. We haven't played a game for a little bit. Get yourself back into these lines, these 4 lines, and stay integrated with what we need for you to do.
Michigan State is one of the best offenses in the country. They are 6th in the nation, nearly 85 points per game, completely out of their rhythm against Nebraska, as Nisley, who also dealt with foul trouble, converts the jet.
Well, you have to give Nebraska credit on the defensive end, because they have taken actions that Michigan State was very comfortable with, especially with Joyner, in my opinion. And they've taken those touches, those easy touches away, except for this one.
Joyner, that is what the Spartans need. Her first bucket, and from long range.
Gotta find her. And now that she's seen that ball go through the nets, she's just gonna be that much more confident and comfortable on her next catch.
Shelley feeding inside. There's the double team, and there's the back door. Coming off a career-high 6 assists is Markowski, the feeder.
Yeah, she can do it. She understands the assignment when she is doubled. And it doesn't matter where that double team is coming from. High side, up the rim line. She has great recognition.
Joyner, back-to-back 3s. She's got 6.
What'd I just say? Once you saw that first one go down, that next one's gonna go through with some fluidity and flawlessness. Nice touch by Joyner.
3rd in the Big Ten, and 3-point field goal percentage, total 3s. She is tough to stop in Nebraska. Blocking her down. Here's Shelley, the step back in response.
How about that? Jazz Shelley letting it fly for Nebraska, continuing to stay hot from range.
The 3rd Husker to double figures. She's got 11 with 3 from long range. Tate fouled by Potts.
Jazz Shelley, she has set the table with 5 assists, but she can also get herself a bucket when need be. And right now, Nebraska needed it. Ooh, a little step back to the left, and look at that gooseneck. Down to the bottom of the bucket. Love to see it.
This foul is going to be on Shelley. It is her 3rd. I thought it might have been Potts at first look, but that is significant for the Huskers. You heard Coach Williams with Autumn before going into the locker room. Hey, they have foul trouble, but we do too. This is significant one with Shelley with 3.
Well, she's disciplined and has experience, but it's still a little iffy. You just never know, especially with how physical this game has been.
Markowski sticks with it. The lob, the block, and then the rebound.
Well, that's what Amy Williams said to Autumn Johnson walking off the floor at halftime. It's been a chaotic game, and that's exactly what that possession was as well.
A-roll, she can dial it up from long range.
She's not just going to reverse the ball from that nail extended position at the top of the key. You have to challenge her on those three-point shots. And as we said at the beginning of the game, she has morphed into a post presence for Michigan State because she has been a perimeter player for most of her career. Right there, pick and pop, size it up and let it go. Nicely executed two-player action. That's what I'm saying. The screener is the one who's going to score the ball. Pitch it back to him and let him go.
Heating up is the Spartans from downtown. 3 of their last 4. They normally hit, again, 9 per game. That's second in the Big Ten.
You see how Joyner's going to play the screening action on Shelley, trying to stay locked and over top instead of trying to go under, which is the proper read.
This ball comes back to White.
Oh, thought that was close to a travel on Potts.
She probably thought so too.
Yeah.
Shelley is going to reset here, under 10 to shoot. But then she'll call her own number.
Just laid it up filet style. Jazz Shelley on the inside after knocking down 3 triples on the outside this afternoon.
13 points for her. Coach Williams says we are a better team when she is hunting for shots. Off the miss from Aralt. It is White into the front court. Whipped inside, 1-on-1. And a foul is called. That's an offensive foul on Markowski and her 3rd personal. Shelley Markowski with 3.
Yeah, but right here, oh, fake to the corner. Tori Osmond, that basketball is not over there, honey. It's down through the net. Watch this. Oh, excuse me. I'm going this way with it. Jazz Shelley with a deuce.
Shelley amped up and she's heating up to 3 threes. She described to us what goes through her head beyond the arc.
I think that I always have to aim at the back of the rim for myself. If I feel myself not looking at the right spot, I mean, it can kind of go wonky, and just where I place the basketball. And then whenever it leaves my hands, just to hold my follow through and just certain cues for myself that help me.
Ah, you love that. The mechanics of the triple, and then watch this one. The flick of the wrist and the gooseneck holding the follow through for emphasis. Love and basketball style. It's one of my favorite movies, by the way. But I just love the emphasis. But there is a thought process that goes with that. You see the zone now here by Nebraska trying to shake up some things schematically.
Halleck tied up. A great job by Nisley. Possession arrow keeping it right here, though. Michigan State started out hot, around 60% the early goings of this game. Not been able to refine that groove. And Nebraska continues to control the glass. That her 18th double-double this season, one of the leaders in the nation.
You're so solid. What a great find, too.
Aralt denying her.
2 of the better shot blockers in the conference, and then Aralt timing that one perfectly, getting a whole hand on the basketball, sending it back.
Second in the Big Ten in blocks per game, only behind Sarah Williams. Here's Nisley rattling in a 3.
Just kick it out to her and let her go to work from the outside. Yet another triple for Nebraska.
6 of 15. Joyner, no good. And yet again, a 1-and-done for the Spartans. Halleck tries to get in on the play. Nisley added up. Another 3 for the Huskers. Timeout called by Coach Freilich. This has exploded to a 16-point lead in quarterfinal number 2.
Nisley sitting wide open right there after a little rub screen by Markowski. Knocks in a triple, and she's like, let's go. And then another find from the outside. Nisley with the triple try and gets it to go through the net. Bench having fun with it.
Husker fans rightfully fired up with a 13-3 run for Nebraska. And this has just expanded in a hurry to a 16-point lead for the Big Red.
And it's all about possessions, right? When you're looking at the rebounding numbers, and that's what we circled at halftime. Second chance points for Nebraska, 16-4 advantage. You look up at the score, and it's a 16-point advantage there, too.
5 to shoot for Joyner and the Spartans. It is Hageman. Oh. One more pass, and that's a shot clock violation. Too unselfish, but Christie, right out of the timeout, too, a turnover.
Yeah, Joyner's got to pull, and you saw Robin Freilich say, keep going. Like, the shot clock is waning. We need a shot to at least get up there. You don't have to make it, but get a shot up so we can rebound it and keep the possession alive.
We talked about rebounds. Nebraska doubling up the Spartans, 34-17.
Got to have everybody doing their job in terms of glasswork.
Hodges fires on the reverse, but a great look for this Nebraska offense. And a turnover by the Spartans. Some confusion we're not used to seeing from them.
No, you have to have the eyes of the catcher. If you're A-Rolt and you're looking up the floor to a teammate, make sure they're looking over their left shoulder on that side of the floor so you can send it.
11 turnovers for the Spartans, among the nation's leaders in assist-to-turnover ratio. They take care of the basketball. Another way Nebraska has been disruptive, forced or unforced. Nisley feeling it. That time can't get it to go.
Michigan State has 11 turnovers, and Nebraska, they've been able to score 11 points off of those.
Go into A-Rolt in the post. She loves to face up, and she's fouled by Petrie.
We're just talking about the turnover numbers too, Sloan. You're looking at Nebraska with 9 turnovers, but Michigan State, they've only been able to score 3 points off of those. So the live ball turnovers have really been an issue for Michigan State, and Nebraska's been able to pay it off in the open floor.
A-Rolt again wants it in the post. Goes to work backing down Petrie, and that is what the Spartans need.
They need to go right back to her on the next possession as well. And not that they're doing my turn shots, but I don't like when that happens in games. Like if you have an advantage somewhere with Markowski out of the game, go right back to that hot spot and let her go to work. Individually covered, no double team on the way. Let A-Rolt go back downstairs and finish.
Nisley, a great look. Another 3. Nisley and the Huskers up to 8. In the paint, it is Tate finding somewhere to go and blocked by Potts.
Well, Nebraska, they've done such a tremendous job of sharing the basketball, spray out threes, another one in the corner this time. Look at Coley over there with the air guitar on the bench. And then just a great pass. They have been so well connected on the offensive end.
The block back-to-back by Potts. Oh, Petrie in trouble. It's a jump ball and staying this direction. But Nisley, the last 3 buckets for the Huskers. She's got 11 in this quarter and 3 threes.
Yeah, she's been the separating factor for Nebraska, and little inches that Michigan State is taking, she's knocking out home runs after home run after home run from range.
Jazz Shelley playing with 3 personal fouls. And still no Markowski in this game. The Huskers doing just fine, seemingly. Potts wants to get in on it and does.
How about that? Young freshman. After the calendar turns to January, you're not a freshman anymore. I mean, she's a seasoned player because of the minutes she has earned on the court.
Big Ten Freshman of the Year by the coaches. He's not always been confident in that long-range shot this season, about 24%. But the green light is on for this team.
As it should be. You let it fly and you can knock it in, keep shooting that thing.
Shot clock is off for the Spartans, looking for a solid possession to close this third. They're being doubled up in scoring by the Huskers, 26-13. Nisley cutting off the angle. 3 seconds for Halleck. Ayrolt's able to hit iron, but it is a 20-point lead for the Huskers in this quarterfinal.
A 2-time Max Preps Player of the Year in Missouri. Natalie Potts knocks into 3. Cheerleaders are doing their thing. So is the bench. I need to get in that line right there and have a little fun too.
Mayhem moment brought to you by Allstate. And the way Nebraska's playing just makes you want to dance.
Let me go over there. Look, I'm going to take this headset off for a second and get at least 3 steps of that conga line in real quick. It's just a lot of joy. It's the facial expressions for me. That's what it's all about. Yeah, you're going to remember the X's and O's and the great plays made, but it's that kind of stuff that I love to see, the camaraderie piece.
Fun to see Allison Widener in on that too, out for this season. Such a heartbeat of this team. Excited to see her back on the court, but she's getting in on the action too.
And a great story on her off the court growing up on a farm and all of the work that she had to put in, and it's a really great piece as well.
Tiny, tiny Nebraska town, still waiting to see her kind of ceiling. 10 to shoot for the Huskers. Potts tumbles out of bounds. Autumn, what did Amy have to say in that last hook?
Well, with the 20-point lead, Amy Williams reminded her team from the last matchup. You remember when we were down 17, or up 17, excuse me, in a minute and a half, they were able to cut that to a 2-possession game. They can heat us in the half court. Don't get sucked into that. Be disciplined, do your job, and continue to play with pace.
Yeah, I mean, that's what you have to do. Do your job, and there's no lead that is safe in Big Ten women's basketball. And we've seen that. We've seen leads dissipate immediately. Didi Hageman right there showing good sportsmanship with the contact on Jazz Shelley. But just solid hustle. Defensively, you see Michigan State trying to blitz and trap. And just a little extra physicality. And then the good sportsmanship.
But that is exactly right for Coach Williams to be telling her team. Close call, close call.
I didn't have a chance to hit the mute button. Pardon me, everybody, but that was almost
There's a lot of velocity on that coming
was a lot.
right over here.
Ooh. Okay.
I was going to say, Christy, is that just like Ohio State, Michigan State, such a potent offense, you feel like they can flip a switch and just pour in the points at a quick rate.
That's why I thought Joyner, when she hit those couple buckets, I thought that was going to be that momentum-changing moment for the team, but she hasn't been able to get back on track.
Long from 3, a foul on Markowski as she was going for that rebound. That is number 4 on her. And remember, Jazz Shelley has 3.
And look at the time on the clock. That's a lot of time left in this game. And going back to the notion that we were just talking about, how leads can dissipate quickly. And with Markowski on the bench, now this is a prime moment for them to go right back downstairs to Ayralt and get her a touch. Whether she shoots it or not is insignificant to me, but she needs to touch the ball. There she is. There you go.
Joyner wide open for 3. Can't knock it down. Tate battling.
Again, that's
We'll stay here.
I'm sorry, Sloan. Again, that's the proper basketball play to make. Ayralt gets a nice bounce pass in from Hageman. She kicks it back out to the top. Joyner wide open. That's the shot you want. I'll run that play again for her to take that same shot and trust her to knock it in.
Halleck backing down and putting it through.
Nice advantage there. She's so strong with her ability to finish in the paint with defense around her. You see how almost coming up with that steal. Just a blink too late. But it's going to be all about the defensive pressure, too. We're talking about what they need to do offensively. They need to dial up their discipline at defensive end as well and get some stops and boards.
Jazz Shelley weaving her way through, off target. A-Roll skying for it and will push. Loses the handle, will attack, wild play, and it will end in free throws.
Well, you can tell A-Roll kind of lost the handle after getting the big rebound and tried to slow up, but then Potts tipped it away from her. She regained it, but you could tell she was off balance, momentum taking her forward, and tried to split the defense. And those wickets opened up for her. Got that foul created.
Michigan State can need more help. A-Roll, the leading scorer, was 17 points, but only 2 players scored in that third quarter. It was Moira Joyner and A-Roll. No one else has more than 8. One for 2 for A-Roll.
So here's that pressure. There's Dee Dee Hageman trying to blitz again and get that trap. You got to trap and rotate. Can't just trap. You got to take away the next 2 passes out of the trap. 2 people on the ball, 2 people, 1 pass away, and a safety. That's the rule.
White slicing right into Halleck, and it's a blocking foul. The Big Ten basketball tournament on Big Ten Network is presented by TIAA, the official retirement planning partner of the Big Ten. Free throws here for White after a strong take. Nebraska 3 of 7 from the charity stripe. For 2, that could come back to potentially bite Nebraska as it goes back to the Spartans.
Still plenty of time right here for Michigan State to operate, but they have to be quick with their decisions here in the quarter court. And it's got to be early actions on the offensive end that get them clean looks against this zone.
Post up for Osmond, the block by Petrie.
Nice job inside in the absence of Alexis Markowski. On the interior, Petrie gets all ball right there, denying Osment at the rim.
This is a big stretch for Petrie, a freshman. Markowski on the bench with 4 personal fouls. Tate leaves it at the rim.
Just got stuck in there. Good footwork, but she's giving up some inches there to Petrie defensively and to Potts for that matter.
Potts has got great height and length as well. She's troublesome. But can pass it to Halleck. Tries to recover. Can't believe that's a whistle, but free throws here again for Nebraska.
Take a look. What a great bounce pass. Leading Jazz Shelley to the rim. Oh, listen. I think that was clean, Sloan. Sloan. Look. Oh, buddy. I'm hugging Sloan right now because I think they missed that. That's not a foul.
Let's give Theron Halleck credit, though. The way she chased that down.
Yeah. And I thought got the ball up top, and I don't think she had any piece of the body. Ooh, that's a tough one.
And then you put Jazz Shelley at the line, nearly automatic. A-Roll checking back in for Osmond.
Weren't we talking about Jazz Shelley's free throw numbers? You were talking about that earlier this morning.
J.C. Sheldon.
Oh, it was Sheldon's
we've got
numbers.
Great free throw shooters all across the conference. I can see why you'd crisscross.
Very, very similar.
But worth pointing out, she's 90%.
90%.
Halleck splitting defenders and puts it up and in.
Fighting for it still is Michigan State. Still with time, but they've got to get at least 2 or 3, hopefully 4 stops and scores in a row to get back into this one.
Nebraska's only scored 2 points in this quarter, but an easy one right there. Potts on the finishing end.
It took them 4 minutes to get a bucket.
Michigan State, it'll be Joyner, the long two.
Joyner, she has to stay aggressive in that way. And they need to hunt touches for she and Aralt both. Oh, Halleck just lost her footing. Good job walling up, and I thought that was a travel.
Aiken almost lost her footing too. Nebraska got to calm things down. And that is what Coach Williams is going to do. Today's assist to the game fueled by Gatorade.
Well, you want to connect the dots, and that means finding your teammates and giving them viable opportunities to score. Nice pass by Petrie over the top. Little pitch pass to another freshman, Natalie Potts, for the deuce.
Later tonight, the TIAA Big Ten Women's Basketball Tournament continues here in Minneapolis. 2 more quarterfinal matchups, including the debut of number 2 Iowa and number 3 Indiana, taking on Penn State and Michigan respectively. It continues at 6 Eastern with the pregame show right here on the Big Ten Network and the Fox Sports app. Well, Autumn, we got to go to you with our bracketology. We know Nebraska has a marquee win. You see it right there in Iowa, a big win over Michigan State, too. What are you thinking about when it comes to these Huskers?
Well, this game is far from over, but a win for Nebraska would be huge. As you see, I have them sitting as an 8th seed, and Michigan State right now is a 7th seed. You mentioned that loss. Going to Ohio State, the next matchup after that Iowa win, and then Illinois to close out the regular season almost sent the Huskers to my 9 line, but a win would give Nebraska another net 25 win and a possibility to steal that 7th seed from the Spartans in my latest bracket prediction.
Aralt knocking down the 3. Autumn is right, this game not over yet.
Oh, Aralt knocking in a 3, and now they can apply their pressure. See, their pressure is very good, but they've got to make shots to be able to get into it full court.
Oh, the block! Incredible by Aralt. It stays on the floor, but she just swooped in.
Now, this is what desperation on defense looks like. What a great block by Aralt, sending that back, getting a piece of the glass too on that one. She just knocked in a 3. I think she's dialed it in and taken herself to a different gear, competitively speaking.
What is her vertical?
A lot. She was way up.
Michigan State trailing by as many as 20 points in the second half. In fact, heading into this 4th quarter, still work to chip away as they work to get the ball in past the midway point.
Well, Aralt has a twin brother who was on the scout team at Michigan State. A couple seasons ago, she had injuries. She has a steel rod in her leg and had to really go through a process to get herself back physically and mentally. So it's just really fun to see her evolve the way that she has through the adversity.
She wants it on her shoulders here in the 4th.
That's another bucket for her. So she has 5 points and a huge block on the other side. Looking to get some help now from her teammates.
7-0 run for Michigan State, threatening the Huskers.
Down to a 5-possession game here, 10 points. It could be less than that if you count some triples.
Markowski back in the game with her 4 fouls, forces it up and in.
Feet work down inside by Alexis Markowski. Staying solid, keeping that pivot foot nailed down to the floor. And just went in swivel mode and got that one to go.
Aralt faces up, is swarmed. Under 10 on the clock for Halleck, feeding Joyner, and a whistle on Nebraska.
I know you saw me, you heard me say feet work, and that's because of Shaquille O'Neal. I know it's footwork, slow. But look, right here you see Aralt taking it down to the cup and down in the trenches on the other side. Oh, just a tough bucket by Alexis Markowski for the Huskers. But they have been going back and forth at each other from the beginning of this game, right? Down in the post.
Now it's Aralt attacking at Potts. Markowski comes in and 7 to shoot for the Spartans.
She got walled up inside. She had Potts on the outside and then Markowski on the inside. That's just going to be a tough attempt. And then really nowhere to throw it out to in that double team situation.
Aralt with power in the paint.
She's basically saying non-verbally, give me the ball and get out of the way. I mean, she has commanded the attention of this momentum that Michigan State is so desperately in need of at this juncture.
Michigan State seeking their first semi-appearance since 2021, but Markowski has something to say about that. Up to 22 points and 10 rebounds for her.
Double-double machine just like that. Once again, that's her average. A walking double-double. We just got knocked to the ground there.
An offensive foul. Amy Williams fired up for her team. That's a big stop under 3 minutes left.
And Aralt just having a conversation. And here's the catch inside. Oh, she was trying to post up, and I understand that. I don't think it was an egregious display. Not saying that that didn't hurt at all, because I'm sure it did. And Amy Williams wants them to look at it because of the contact that occurred above the shoulder.
Right now, it's the third personal foul on Aralt.
Trying to determine if that was a basketball play, and they're having a discussion to see if it's worthy of taking a look at for a possible upgrade.
It looks like we will get a closer look, and here's ours.
And it's just a swim move, and I think Markowski just kind of ducked her head down and got in the way of that. I mean, if you're making a post move, a swim move is that arm and leg at the same time moving at the same time to get position and stepping over the top leg. And you see Aralt right there, that right leg and that right arm going at the same time. But you see Markowski trying to be on the high side defensively, and it just all happened at once. This is going to be an interesting call. Because to me, it didn't look like it was egregious. And for someone, I mean, play post, we understand this, right? You step in, your leg is in a swim move motion, and your arm as well.
This play getting another look from the referees, with Nebraska leading 70 to 58. Could swing it right here in the fourth.
Well, the officials just came over and said the call on the floor was a personal foul on Aralt. But they are going to take a look to see if there's a possible upgrade. We'll take a look at it again. Look at the swim move. Alexis Markowski just kind of got in the way of that. But she did get hit above the shoulder. I think it may be an upgrade, Sloan. I think they may have to upgrade it. There, right here. Oh, that right arm into the side of the face.
And you can see a little bit before Potts comes into the picture just what kind of hit that was before she falls to the floor.
Yeah. I can see, look, the swim move. She came, you know what, the swim move would be more out and then back. That one was straight in to Markowski. No.
So also trying to kind of get lower
Clearing
than your
out.
opponent. Too.
Right. I mean, they called a foul, so we're not discussing whether or not it's a foul, but
correct.
Is it an upgrade? And that would be a significant call as well in terms of time and score at this point of the game.
Should be able to get a decision soon. And it's Michigan State doubling up Nebraska in this fourth quarter, 16 to 8. Let's
see Aralt, she is worried about it. Let's see what they came up with. Tell us here. So there's no upgrade there. No upgrade, and just a personal foul to the chagrin of Amy Williams, who's basically saying OMG on that one.
More lip reading?
A little bit. I'll put it PG.
Here Here comes the pressure from Michigan State. Amy Williams told her team, be ready. And that attack will not be subsiding for the final 2 minutes and 30 seconds. Nisley is just going to throw it up to Markowski. She gets it under control. Finds Shelley underneath.
What a splendid dime that was by Alexis Markowski in a double team. Didn't have to be a spray out. Jazz Shelley kept herself moving off the ball to get it.
Hageman splashing in a three. We know the Spartans can keep this interesting, trailing by 11.
And Jazz Shelley in command here, pushing tempo and then clearing it out to burn some of this clock, taking away opportunities for Michigan State as a mode of defense, right? We use up the clock so they can't go down there.
And a block by Tate. Could have been an easy bucket by Potts.
We were talking about the length and anticipation skills of Potts, but not enough on that play as Tate cleared that one. But Markowski with a nice dime pocket pass into the hands of Jazz Shelley from that weak side cut.
Theron Halleck whistled for the foul. That is the 4th on the Spartans. So 1:42 remaining. Michigan State needing stops, but Christy, you said it, the clock is the friend of the Huskers.
Absolutely. Burn it all the way down, get it to like 8 seconds, and then maybe go for a high ball screen action. Simplify things, but be patient.
White through the paint. Hey, can't get that to go. Markowski,
Smart.
Yet another rebound. That's 11. White travels, and the Spartans get it back, approaching a minute to go.
How about that fight by Markowski, though, to get down into the paint and get yet another offensive rebound, a 16-8 advantage on offensive boards for Nebraska. And that has made a world of difference when you're talking about possessions and the ability to maximize them.
That's been their identity all year. They have removed the Spartans from their identity. Arolds throwing up a three. That hits net. Shelley just has to take care of the basketball.
And Nebraska fans are on their feet here at the Target Center. Like what they have seen here this afternoon.
Potts weaving through. It is Shelley. Another offensive rebound. Potts is stripped. And back to Michigan State.
Everyone else over there saw something totally opposite of that. You can tell by their reactions.
And this is going to be looked at again.
Just for possession here. Off of Potts right there. Let's see who else has it.
Previous play is under review for out of bounds. Ball on the floor right now is white ball.
Okay, the ruling on the floor is that it's Michigan State's ball, but since we're under 2 minutes, they're going to review for possession. Let's see. Oh. Ooh.
Did it bounce off Tate's knee?
I thought it was Tate's knee, but they can't see it. I thought it was off Tate's right knee. If you could see her leg reverberate from the contact right above her knee. Watch her leg right here. Watch. Watch it right here. Boom. That's off her knee.
So I don't think Potts got a finger on it after that.
No, her hand is away from the basketball. That's off Tate's right knee. They're going to overturn that. It's going to be Nebraska ball.
Under 30 seconds to play.
Take a look here. This is a great view from over top. It's off the right knee. Let's see. Let's watch this. Pop. Yeah, Potts wasn't near that. They're going to overturn that, I think, for sure.
the Huskers huddling up close to closing the deal here on back-to-back days at Target Center. Yesterday defeating number 12 Purdue, which was a slugfest. That's what you heard from Coach Williams. And then you play a complete opposite team in
After
Michigan
review,
State.
call on the floor is reversed. Ball is given to red.
Just as we predicted, Christine, Husker basketball.
Overturned. Nebraska will hold possession here. 17 on the shot clock. But they will not be taking any quick shots here on this possession. There they go, bringing it out.
Alec with the 5th team foul. And that will be free throws here for White. And the Huskers the rest of the way.
Well, just 25 seconds left here. Up 11.
Darian White at the line for the Huskers.
The Huskers 5 of 10 from the free throw line. But, Chrissy, they just put their foot on the gas in the second half.
They did. Fans there. There's so many great fans and the great signage here. Sold out tournament for the first time. Big Ten women's basketball, you love to see it. Everyone watches women's sports and everyone comes in the building to do it. You love to see that.
Shot clock is off. Joyner can't get that to fall. A frustrating night. And yet another double by team is heading home. Nebraska defeats number 4 Michigan State. They're off to the semis.
It was a battle on the glass that was won by Nebraska 44-30 with those numbers, and the offensive boards 18-8 advantage there and a 17-8 advantage on second chance points. And that, my friends, was the difference in the game. It was the grit, it was the hustle to the 50-50 basketballs, and the 50-50 basketballs are rebounds. Everyone has the same opportunity for those, and Nebraska came out on top there and on the scoreboard.
Second time last 3 seasons, the Huskers in the Big Ten semifinals. And they did it by dictating their style of play. They beat Michigan State 2 times this season, none bigger than here in Minneapolis.
It's a solid performance. Now advancing to semifinal Saturday against Maryland.
Autumn Johnson as the winning head coach, Amy Williams.
Coach Williams, a dominant game from all Nebraska players out there. How would you describe how you guys were able to play Nebraska basketball?
I thought that everybody just really bought into kind of our game plan, and it's hard to come up with a game plan when you have 1 day prep, but really proud of the way we dug deep and found ways to get stops and just strung things together, played as a team, had contributions from a lot of different people.
I got to talk about that 1-2 punch, though, on Potts and Markowski. They combined for 32 points, 22 rebounds. When that 1-2 punch is down low, how tough are they?
They can be really a tough combination inside, and I thought, we felt like we could maybe have an advantage if we could get some paint touches, but I thought just a great combination. Those two really going after it and really taking pride in rebounding, but also had a stretch there where we had some threes falling from Logan Nisley and Josh Shelley and Callan, and just everybody kind of finding ways to contribute.
These past 2 days, what have you liked about them the most that you can carry now into the semis?
Yeah, I think that we know that if we want to continue to advance in this tournament, we have to rebound. We watched Maryland today really dominate the boards. It's going to be a battle there, we know, but I think that's the biggest thing, is just committing to the things that have gotten us to this point, and we know rebounding is a big piece of that.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, and congratulations.
Thank you.
Nebraska will meet Maryland. We have a 5-8 semifinal to determine who goes to the Big Ten championship game here at Target Center. 2 upsets after there were 0 on the first 2 days of the tournament.
Well, this is why we love March, right? Everybody has an opportunity to come and bring their A game, and you see Maryland brought theirs, and now Nebraska following suit and moving on to semifinal Saturday as well.
And we've got superstars in abundance coming up tonight, including Caitlin Clark the NCAA all-time leading scorer, surpassing Pete Maravich. You see the record she has in the Big Ten, the assist record, the women's single-season three-point record, and the NCAA women's career scoring record, too, all checked off this season. We will see what she and the Hawkeyes have in store, as well as number 3 Indiana as well. We will hear from the crew at the desk, interviewing Alexis Markowski, putting a wrap on the day session here at the Big Ten tournament. Join us as quarterfinal Friday rolls on. Clark and the Hawkeyes in action. Coverage begins at 6 Eastern with the Big Ten Live pregame show.